What's good, everyone? It's Zayas. I'm back for a review of Touge Oni by Kenji Tsurubuchi. Touge Oni has been a series which has flown pretty under the radar for how good it's been. Mizukami, author of a ton of notable works including Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer and Spirit Circle, has said that this series makes him feel jealous even. Maybe it hasn't picked up in popularity due to its slow release schedule. It's only getting about 6 chapters per year. It's published in Harta, which is known for being a lot more quality over quantity, so really it just is what it is. Other than Touge Oni, he's drawn in a few anthologies, he's done art for a couple short works, and he's made a couple one-shots. Only 2 of his earlier works are actually notable, with one of them being Mecto Amore, which was actually a really good one-shot. It seemed like it could actually be a great setup for the start of a shonen series, but it doesn't look like it's going to be fully fleshed out. The other is Fernandez Pixie Shop. Now, this one isn't as notable for good reasons. It's just incredibly weird, so if you like weird things, I guess go check it out. Getting back to Touge Oni, this series has incredibly elegant storytelling and wild plot lines. The series starts out more episodic. Here's the god of the week. Eventually it shifts away from that in order to tell this full story, and I enjoyed both styles of storytelling. Obviously it did have to shift away eventually, because you can't just keep doing Monster of the Week forever. The world building in this story was pretty crazy. Everything feels so vibrant and alive and ethereal. The series is bursting to the rim in Japanese mythology, from the way these characters talk to how they look, act, speak, and the way he writes is pretty gripping too. He'll drop in these little hints and clues as to what's going on, but you only really get a full grasp of things after the fact. It's very engaging, also very good for rereads. I'm talking about all the time shenanigans, all the fourth dimension breaks. There's references to our current day society. There's also alternate versions of characters, and even though things get really crazy at times, everything still makes sense at the end of the day. On top of the story getting crazy, the powers that these gods have are also pretty crazy. They have them in the form of these treasures, which can be a wide variety of things, ranging from black holes to alcohol. I really appreciated how unique and innovative these treasures were. None of them were just like a strict power change between the two. They're all these crazy powers that have so many different uses, but usually they don't even end up being that useful. Artistically, it does some things really well and some other things kind of just okay. The Japanese folklore elements are represented well and oftentimes give the series a fantastical feeling. The gods look powerful, intimidating, domineering, as they should. His take on these gods is really cool to see. They all look varied and they all look imposing in their own way. None of them really has a bad design. Even when it comes to the world and the backgrounds, it looks great. These forests and hills, everything just screams fantasy. The downside to the art though is that the characters don't stand out quite as much. Ozuno and his master, who we all know who he is, look relatively good. They have standout characteristics like Ozuno looking all monk-like and his master looking incredibly creepy. Other characters though are a lot worse. Zenki looks like he was dragged out of some generic shonen manga to be here, and Mio has no notable characteristics at all to really speak of. She's even worse. A lot of the other humans are like these characters, pretty forgettable, but overall I'd still say the art is a net positive because it doesn't focus that much on the characters. When it comes to our character's actual character, it's pretty good. Our entire main cast and all the gods are actually from the Japanese mythos. Each character has their own story and motives. Ozuno is the most compelling. He's usually quite kind, but when it comes to Kodo, there's no real telling what lengths he'll go to save her. The future version of him shows that quite well. He's okay with sacrificing all of humanity just to save Kodo. We may even know the outcome to this series. In chapter 4, some random guy from our time just decided to reveal the future, and that's probably what happened in his master's timeline, but we don't know if the same thing is going to repeat itself or things will change because time is getting all tangled up. On that note, his master is actually also a pretty great character. Obviously, he's a little insane, a little off his knocker, but that's what makes him a great villain. Seeing all the parallels between him and his master, not only is it clever storytelling, it's also a little bit eerie, thinking that that's what happened to Ozuno. Zenki's storyline isn't as complex, but it's still good. He wants to return to being human after becoming an Oni due to cannibalism when he was starving. There seems to be some deep-seated reason as to why Onis cannot become humans. My guess is it has something to do with cannibals not being accepted into society, but we're going to have to see how it pans out. Obviously, there's going to be some fantasy, some magic involved. His character is actually pretty childlike, and while him and Mio do have a lot on their plate, they both pretty much act like children. Zenki is much more of a tsundere, whereas Mio is a lot more brash and straightforward. Both characters are pretty solid, and the romance going on between these two is pretty cute. There's so much to look forward to. What choice is Ozuno going to make? Will he betray humanity for Kodo? What's going to happen to Zenki? Will he be able to settle down with Mio? Will this monk be able to become king? What's going to happen to the past? Will it be dramatically altered compared to the previous timeline? And what even is Seinen? Because we don't really know. This series is well written, and it's not afraid to get wild. I'm feeling like a light 9. Thank you everyone for watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, anything related to manga. I still don't know what I'm going to review next. So, if you have recommendations, put them down, I'll get to it. Yeah, I still have to review the series from the top 10 list I did. I want to do that eventually. And now I'm looking forward to make the next top 10 list. So I don't know, expect videos soon.